this picture. This picture shows some of the common electrical appliances that makes our life easier and convenient. I hope you all have some of these items at your home as well. Now, although these gadgets like refrigerator, air conditioner are useful for us, but they are harmful for our Mother Earth because they damage the environment. So let's see what harm they cause. The electrical gadgets like refrigerators, air conditioner release harmful gases or toxic chemical compounds like chlorofluorocarbon. Now, not only refrigerator and air conditioner, but there are other gadgets like paints, aerosols, which are used to extinguish fire, release this harmful chemical. Now, this chemical is really very harmful because it causes the ozone layer to deplete. Let's see how. Use of modern devices and factories release or emits a toxic chemical compound called CFC in the air. CFC absorbs the UV rays coming from the sun and release chlorine atom. The free chlorine atom reacts with the ozone molecule present in the air and forms chlorine monoxide and a molecule of oxygen. Now, chlorine monoxide reacts with ozone and forms a chlorine atom and two molecules of oxygen. Now, the chlorine atom again reacts with ozone and forms chlorine monoxide and a molecule of oxygen. And this process continues, and as a result, the ozone layer depletes. So, we see how CFC causes depletion of ozone layer. So, in the previous video, we saw how CFC causes depletion of ozone layer. Now, CFC releases chlorine on absorbing UV rays, and this chlorine, that is a molecule of chlorine, can destroy 1 lakh molecules of ozone. Now, not only CFC, but there are other toxic chemical compounds that causes depletion of ozone, and they are carbon tetrachloride, hydrofluorocarbons, halogens, bromine compounds. Where do these toxic chemicals compounds come from? These toxic chemical compounds comes from the same sources, that is from refrigerators, air conditioners, paints, aerosols, etc. So, use of these modern devices not only releases CFC in the air, but also releases other toxic chemical compounds, and therefore these toxic chemical compounds are also known as ozone depleting substances. So, this phenomena of gradual thinning of ozone layer due to release of toxic chemical compounds in the environment is known as ozone layer depletion, or simply ozone hole. Now, let me tell you an interesting fact. Ozone hole contains 55 to 60% of the normal concentration of ozone. That is to say that a depleted ozone layer contains less amount of ozone. Now, look at this picture. In this picture, we can see gradual thinning of ozone layers or increase in the size of ozone hole over the years. See, this much was the size of ozone hole on 17 September 1979. On 7th October 1989, the size of the ozone hole increased, and it increased further over the years. So, this is the size of ozone recorded on 1st October 2010. So, you see the hole increased from this to this. So we can see that there has been considerable increase in the size of ozone hole over the years. Now carefully look at this picture. In this picture we can see a continent. Can you identify this continent? Yes, you're correct. This continent is Antarctica. So we can say that a prominent depletion of ozone layer has occurred over the continent of Antarctica. This fact was discovered in the year 1985. And it was discovered that an ozone hole of size 29.6 square kilometers were discovered over the continent of Antarctica. And the size of this ozone hole is 3.5 times greater than the continent of Australia. So do you realize how big this ozone hole is? Now this unfortunate incident, that is depletion of ozone layer, is not only limited to the continent of Antarctica, but it has also spread to the other parts of the world. That is to say that the ozone layer has depleted over Arctic region also. So from this we can infer that the ozone layer is depleting very fast. Now before we proceed with our lesson, let us try to answer this. Name the continent over which the ozone layer depletion is prominent. Is it over Antarctica, Europe, Asia or Australia? Well, the correct answer is Antarctica. We just saw in the previous image that the ozone layer depletion is very prominent over Antarctica. So the correct answer is Antarctica. Look at this image. In this image we can see holes in the ozone layer. So this is the case of ozone depletion. Let's imagine that you are given a ripped blanket on a cold winter night. Will you like it? Of course not. This is because you will feel cold. Similarly, the protective blanket surrounding our Mother Earth, that is the atmosphere of the Earth, is ripped as we have holes in the ozone layer. As a result, our Mother Earth is being harmed. So now let us discuss the consequences of ozone layer depletion. We know the primary function of ozone layer is to absorb the harmful UV rays coming from the sun. And now since the ozone layer is getting depleted, so the harmful UV rays can easily enter the Earth's atmosphere without any obstruction as the ozone layer is getting depleted. So depletion of ozone layer results in more exposure to harmful UV rays. Now we will discuss how these UV rays are harmful to us. The ultraviolet radiations or the UV rays coming from the sun are indeed very harmful because they can trigger skin diseases, eye diseases and even immune deficiency disorders. Now look at this picture. In this picture we can see how a person is being affected due to skin cancer. And in this image we can see a person is suffering from an eye disease, that is cataracts. Now these harmful diseases like cataracts and skin cancer are caused due to exposure to harmful UV rays. Now, exposure to harmful UV rays not only affects human health, but it also affects microorganisms like planktons. Look at this picture. This is the zoomed in picture of phytoplanktons, a type of planktons. These planktons are microscopic organisms present in seas or ocean, and these microscopic organisms play an important role in aquatic food chain. In fact, they start the aquatic food chain. See, these planktons are present at the bottom of the aquatic food chain, and small fishes are dependent on them. Now, these small fishes are in turn eaten by larger fishes. So, the larger fishes are also dependent on these planktons. Now, these planktons are greatly affected by harmful UV rays. In fact, these planktons are destroyed due to UV rays. Now, destruction of these planktons also affects the marine life, that is the fishes that are dependent on them. So, the UV rays not only kill planktons but also destroy aquatic food chain. Now, UV rays also have serious effect on plants. They harm or damage the growth of plants. Due to exposure to UV rays, the plants have stunned growth or they grow small leaves. Now, crops are also damaged due to exposure to UV rays, especially rice crop. A microscopic organism, that is cyanobacteria, are present at the root nodules of rice plant, and these microscopic organisms are destroyed due to harmful UV rays. As a result, the growth of these plants get affected because these cyanobacteria absorbs nitrogen from air and helps in plant growth. So, destruction of these microorganisms affects plant growth directly. As a result, due to UV rays, not only the growth of plants gets affected, but it may also lead to crop failure. Now, we all know that the ice sheets and glaciers of Antarctica are melting. Now, do you know what will happen if all these ice sheets and glaciers of Antarctica melt? If all the ice sheets of Antarctica melt, then it will lead to an increase in sea level by 70 meter approximately. And also the oceans will cover the coastal cities, that is the coastal regions will get submerged under the oceans or seas. But what is causing these ice sheets or glaciers to melt? The ice sheets or glaciers are melting due to depletion of ozone layer. We know use of modern devices like refrigerators and air conditioners release CFC and other ozone depleting substances, which is causing the ozone layer to thin out or deplete. Now, ozone absorbs the excess heat coming from the sun and helps to maintain optimum temperature on Earth. Now, depletion of ozone layer is causing substantial increase in global temperature, especially the temperature in the polar regions is rising. As a result, the ice sheets and glaciers present in the polar regions are melting. So, this is another serious consequence of depletion of ozone layer. So, we can see that ozone layer depletion has serious consequences. In fact, ozone depletion is a global threat. Therefore, UN or United Nations has initiated a serious step to stop depletion of ozone layer. In the year 1987, all the member countries of UN signed an international treaty or global agreement to prevent depletion of ozone layer. And the name of this treaty is Montreal Protocol. This treaty became effective since 1989. Now, the main objective of this treaty was to reduce the production and consumption of ozone depleting substances. We already know that CFCs, halogens, hydrofluorocarbons, etc. are ozone depleting substances. Now, let us find out if UN was successful in this attempt or not. Yes, UN was quite successful in this attempt of phasing out or reducing the production and consumption of ozone depleting substances. See, from this graph we can see that there has been considerable decrease in the consumption of ozone depleting substances, that is CFCs, methyl bromide, halogens, bromochloromethane, etc. So, the consumption of these substances has decreased considerably over the years. So, Montreal Protocol was quite a successful attempt of UN. Although UN was quite successful in its attempt, but it could not eradicate the problem completely. Therefore, we still have a lot to do. Now, what can we do individually to stop depletion of ozone layer? Well, we know that modern devices like refrigerators and air conditioners release harmful chemicals like CFC. So, we can avoid using these modern devices. We should also avoid using cars because vehicular emissions contains harmful gases which also leads to depletion of ozone layer. Instead, we should switch to walking or cycling. We also learned that cleaning agents releases ozone depleting substances. So, we must say no to these cleaning agents. Instead, we should replace them by detergent powders. So, as an individual, we should avoid using these substances. Instead, we should switch to these eco-friendly substances. In this way, we can stop depletion of ozone layer. Also, we should keep in mind that life depletes when ozone depletes. So, to save our life, we should save ozone. So, in today's video, we discuss about the depletion of ozone layer and the evil consequences of depletion of ozone layer. In our next video, we will discuss about global warming. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million+ questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubt resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.